Hey guys, all the solo 11 cards have been revealed. I've made a 4th Jeju Island Raid deck. I think this is going to be one of the strong contenders for the best solo leveling deck besides the Shadow Army. Uh, but we'll get into it. So we'll start with the zeros. First, we'll go over Lim. He has a win play that you'll look at the top two cards of your deck, place one of the 4th Jeju Island Raid cards into your sideline, and place the other on top. Or you can just put both on top in whatever order you want. So you're able to either filter out a bad draw or choose what your draws are next and then be able to plan accordingly for how you're going to play. So, and he has an active trigger, so he's quite good. Next, we'll go over Cha. Has a get trigger. She is basically here to be a raid target and is a 0. So, pretty straightforward. We'll go to Choi. He has an ability where during your turn, if you have five or more Jeju Island cards on your field, it gains 1500. I said other, I misspoke. It does not have other. So if he's your fifth, he is a 3k, and he has a draw trigger. There's multiple ways in the deck to gain 1000, so he could very easily be a 4k attacker for you as a 0 cost, which is wild. Not like broken wild, but like dang. So the last 0 we'll go over is Ishida. She has a ability to switch to resting, and you'll give something else 1000. Like I just said, there's multiple ways to give 1000 to a card, and that is one of them. I only have her as a 2 and Lim as a 2 of. I could play around with the ratios. I might think that Ishida comes up more and switch her to a 3 and have Lim as a 1. You know, filtering can help out a lot, but sometimes you might just be like, I'll just take as many 4Ks as I can get. So, because she can buff up Cha to a 4 and Ma to a 4, and that's pretty good. So those are my zeros. That's 12 zeros. I think that's pretty standard. I don't want to ever go below if I can, unless there are pseudo zeros, but oh well. Next, we'll go over our 1 energy required. Our Choi, he is our searcher. Look at the top 3, reveal a 4th Jeju Island Raid card, and if you added a card this way, you pitch a card. Cool. He has a draw trigger, so there's not a trigger setback, and he is a raid target for our raid Choi. So, pretty straightforward. Next, we'll go to our 2-cost Cha. I had her as a 2 at first, but then I realized like I want to have more raid targets. And honestly, a 3k with impact, she's the only impact in the deck, so she could just like get you over the line and get you the win, especially if you have Ishida to make her a 4k impact. So that's pretty good. And like, yes, there are technically now 11 raid targets for Cha, but you never want to use the 4k Cha. Or I shouldn't say never, but like usually you're not going to use the 4k Cha as a raid target because she's a 4k attacker. But yeah, no trigger, unfortunately, which is one of the reasons why I wanted her as a 2, but just don't put her in your life and you're good. Then next, we'll go over the 3 costs. First up is Ma. He generates 2 on the energy line, which is great. He has Nullify Impact, which is great. And he has the ability that if on the energy line at the end of your attack phase, you may choose one character on your front line that has the will remain set to resting the next time it would be switched to active, and swap it with this character. So the other characters, the big characters, when we go over them, will be able to get this ability, and you're obviously going to want to keep those people safe. So you switch him with him, and he can be a free block and stop them from getting impacts off. Just a very solid card, and it's, double energy, so you really want him. Next, we'll go over Min. Same situation of being a 3 required energy and generates 2. He has a 2k instead of a 3k, but oh well. We'll go over the win played first. You choose up to one other in our deck character. It'll gain 1000 until the end of the turn, or if you choose Bake, who we'll go over later, he gains 1k until the start of your next turn. So he can be a 5k blocker on your opponent's turn. So that's pretty sick. Then now we'll go over the other ability. At the end of your attack phase, you can pitch a card from your hand and choose one of the characters and switch it to active, which can eat the will remain set to resting the next time it would become active. if you want. So later on in the game, you can use that to be able to get blockers, and if you need to survive, just to get one more turn out, and then go for the win. Very good. Both of these guys are quite good. I am very excited for it. Next, we'll go to our 4 required energy cards. First, we'll go over Cha. She is a 4K. She is our color trigger, so she's a 4 of. And she has a win played. If you have 5 or more 4th Jeju Island Raid cards on your field, switch this character to active. That did not say other. She counts. If she's your 5th, you switch her to active. And you give it when you switch to active, you give it, when attacking, this character remains set to resting. Next time it would be switched to active till the end of the turn, and you can only activate this ability once. So if you play 2 of this card, only one of them would go active, and the other one, even if you have 5 or more, would sit there and stay resting. You would use this on curve, because that the would remain set to resting sounds like a negative, but let's be honest, in the early game with 4Ks, you're never blocking with them. So it's like, it's resting on your opponent's turn. Okay, I wasn't blocking with it anyway, and if I hit an active trigger, cool, I have it anyway. So those the would remain set to resting can be a negative, but usually it's not. Especially if you are using this to be able to get your last attack in and go for game, then the negative effect doesn't even show up. So it's not even a negative at that point. But cool. We'll go to our Raid Shaw. She's a 4K. Has a win plate ability to gain 1,000 until the end of the turn, so she'll be a 5K when you first play her out. And the really big part of the deck, when attacking once per turn, you may place 1 card from your hand to your sideline. If you do, choose up to 1 character on your front line that will remain set to resting the next time it would become active. Doesn't have to be her. It shouldn't be her. So you switch that character and this character to active. So you would attack. So let's say you have this Chaw, you attack with her, cool. You attack with this Chaw, you use the ability, boom, you have 2 more attacks. And let's say you have double of this. You have 2 of this Chaw and 2 of this one. You have 8 attacks in a turn. That's crazy. You can just outright win. If you high roll enough going second, you could almost just straight up win on turn 3. That's crazy. So the next we'll go over Bake. He is a 4 required energy, but 2 action point card. He has the win played. You may pitch a card to switch him active and give him plus 1k for the turn, so it'll be a 5k for that turn. And when attacking, you'll look at the top 4 cards of your deck, you'll reveal 2 of the Jeju Island Raid cards and add them to your hand. And then if you add a card to your hand, this character remains set to resting the next time it would be switched to active. So you don't even have to pitch a card like other searchers. And as we talked about with Ma and Mean, you can just get him back to active and he'll be a 5k. So it's not that big of a deal. You have to pitch a card to get him back to active, but you just added 2 to your hand, so you're not that upset about it. This guy is very good. I only have him as a 3 though, because that 2 action point can come up, 2 action point cost, that is, can come up a lot. If you get too many of these guy in your hand, then that's not going to be good. But as a 3 of, I think you'll be fine. And he has a get triggers, which is nice. The last character we're going to go over is our 4-cost Choi Raid. He is a 4K. He has the win played. If you have 5 or more 4th Jeju Island cards, all characters with 1500 or more BP on your opponent's front line lose 1k. So you can't kill anything with that ability, but you can make it to where they can't, if they have 5ks, they can't just block a 4k for free. But he also has a when attacking that you can choose one of the following effects. And if you do, this character remains set to resting the next time it would be switched to active. The first one is you can activate the character's when played. So if the turn after you played him, they have a 5k, you can attack, reduce them all by 1,000, and now they don't have a free block. Or you can choose up to 1 character with 2k or less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. So if you raid 2 of Choi on a turn, most of their cards are going to be 2K or less. Honestly, I think most of the time all of them will be 2K or less. So you'll have you'll be able to kill off 2 of their characters. I think this guy is quite good. So if you hit double Cha, you hit double Choi, you're sitting real good. This deck is going to get a little wacky. But that's all the characters. So we'll go to our events. We have our 4 finals and which are restands. Pretty straightforward. And then we go to our special, which is it sidelines a 2K or less. If you have 5 or more characters out, it sidelines a 5K or less. And if you have if you have 5 or more character cards out, then you give something on your field 1,000. Which, gets our Choi up to 1,000, gets our Cha up to 1,000, gets our Ma up to 1,000. Or 4,000, I'm sorry. So, this deck is going to have a lot of attacks. It has removal in raid form, a little bit. And just, it's going to be very scary. Because, it's going to have a little bit of swapping going on. It's it's going to be quite strong. You, don't only be worried about the Shadow Army deck, especially for rare battles. This, honestly, this Choi can probably just, get beat over the Shadow Army, just because you're going to have, the Shadow Army is going to have a lot of Shadow Soldiers or tanks on the front line, and he'll be able to just kill them for free. So, yeah, this is the 4th Jeju Island Raiders deck. I hope you liked it. If you have criticisms or whatnot, you can let me know. And have a good one.